Welcome to the Midnight Matinee with your host and hostess, Robert and Angie Curtis.
Welcome everyone back to the Midnight Matinee. We saw a new movie, or a new series anyway. We wanted to talk to you guys about it.
We're actually seeing, we saw the season finale, or the series finale of Stranger Things.
Yeah, the series finale.
It's hard to believe because it seems like it's been going on a very, very, very long time.
Because it has been going. There's 3.5 years in between season 4 and 5. And if you know, because this is a show that's centered around a group of children who are now in their late 20s, and by the time that they got done playing around and all the nonsense that it took to make this, it's been 3.5 years before it was finally released, and it came out yesterday.
Oh, you mean the last
New Year's Eve?
Because I was thinking, like I told you, I remember watching one season when I had COVID, and I know that was May of 2020. And I'm like, but I don't know what season it was. But I thought it was the one, like the second or third, or the third or fourth one. So it's been a long time. But we've been kind of excited. We watched all that were released earlier in the spring, and then obviously we watched all the
releases that came out.
Yeah, and the additional ones that came out about a week ago, and last night was the actual series finale.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna ask Bob, what did you think? Because Bob is attention to detail.
If you had asked me before we watched the finale how I felt about this show, I would have said it is a solid 2.
Oh, maybe we should say
out of 10.
This is going to have spoilers, so if you want to leave now.
Yeah, and then go watch it and then come back and watch, because...
Yeah, see if you agree with us.
Yeah. Up to the finale, the story has been all over the place. They've been reintroducing characters that no one cares about. They centered the series around characters no one cares about. There's obvious plot holes everywhere. Continuity errors everywhere. There's, like the scene where we were talking about, the little girl is gooped up in the wall and she rips herself out. She's got like Under Armour.
Yeah, you can see
clothes
her Under
on. You
Armour.
see the Under Armour logo on her shirt, like...
Which didn't even come out until the late 90s.
Yeah, and they're already CGing stuff in that scene. Like the digital post people are fixing like glare and movement on the vines and stuff in that scene. So you could have easily just put a mask over that, and they just don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
You know what I mean?
All the things that they had, especially with the amount of special effects, that they would have that small...
And the money that this cost, they could easily just... put a little mask over that Under Armour logo.
Well, and going into it, before we watched it last night, he raised the question, what happened to the Mind Flayer?
The Mind Flayer, yeah.
The Mind Flayer.
Yeah,
that was the center of the first 2 or 3.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons, the Mind Flayer was the villain.
And he's like, what happened to this?
What
Did
happened
they just
to the
completely
Mind Flayer?
venture off to a different story?
They're like, nah, we're gonna retcon this Henry character in that was the number 1 of the project that we just invented in the 3rd season. Yay! Right? It's just I don't want to say it's like lazy. I just think that they just don't care is what it is. It's like, because you have all of this character development and all of this interaction with all these fantastic actors. You know, David Harbour, fantastic. Winona Ryder, fantastic. Top tier actors. And then, like, you have these 2 characters, 2 actors that are really good in scenes where they interact, and then it cuts to interactions with these, C tier actors. And you're like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? And then, like, in the last season, they brought in characters from the other seasons that no one cares about. Like Elle's sister, 8 or 7 or whatever she is. Like, no one cared. She was in one episode, and then now suddenly she's like the center of this one. And she has all this attitude. Like, she comes in and she's like, well, this is how it's going to be. And like everyone in the show is like, who is this? Like, what are we doing? Like, well, this is our plan, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and everybody's looking at her like, who the hell are you, and why do we care? And as an audience, you're looking at her, too, going, who the hell are you and why do we care? Like, what is even going on? And then I thought, I was like, well, this is clever because Callie's power is that she can make people see things that aren't real. She can force hallucinations onto people, right? Which is a trait of the Mind Flayer. So I thought where we're going to go with that in the end is that Callie is the Mind Flayer, right? Because Henry is Vecna. He's the big bad, right? And then now we're going to shift and have her come out as the Mind Flayer, and that's why we haven't seen the Mind Flayer in the last couple seasons. It's because she was doing something else, right? So now that she's back, now the Mind Flayer's back. So that is really good writing. Unfortunately, that's not what happened in the show.
That would have been a wow moment,
right?
Like,
which would have been fantastic writing.
I didn't trust her the entire time. Like I was just like something was off. I'm like, what is going on? You know, and
I feel that same way because the way her character is written in this, like she's like this tough, street smart kind of semi-criminal who does like, you know, this guerrilla stuff. And then you look at her and you're like, no, bro, no one,
tiny.
No one's taking you serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't, I don't know. It's just, the reason why, let me back up. The reason why they introduced her and it was weird is because of the final episode and they needed her to be there to pull off the switcheroo at the very end. That's the only reason why they brought her out of the cold storage, was for this one thing. And when you get to it, you're like, that's why we had to endure this. You know what I mean? Like, it was bad writing anyway. And then now we had to bring a character from the past back to you know what I'm saying? Like, it was not necessary in my opinion, because this is the thing that we always talk about with these shows. Like they have no idea what the hero's journey is, you know, and whenever a character sacrifices themselves for the benefit of their friends, they always try to steal that from that character and bring it back to something that's more petty and selfish, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with the ending of this. So, you know, I mean, I don't want to like outright spoil it, but you know, you should watch it.
I thought it was a well done. I thought the series was good.
Yeah.
I thought it, like, the last few episodes were very, I almost had a very special episode, because they would have like this serious talks, you know, and
there's a lot of like,
you know, the character that comes out and it's like,
like,
and maybe because we are where we are, it's like, maybe it was a big deal back in the 80s. I don't know.
Of course it was.
Well, they graduated. You find out that they're actually part of the class of 89, which I thought was funny because I am part of the class of 89. So that tells you how old they would be now.
Right.
But,
well, you think about in this time period, right? You have the AIDS epidemic, and then that was being hung directly on the door of the LGBT class, right? So it was kind of like, it was the thing that even gays at this time would hide that they were gays. You remember Freddie Mercury at this time, like, was ambiguous about
John.
it. Yeah.
Which is funny, is we knew.
Right.
So why
but
are
they
we
didn't just
hiding?
like come out and say it. You know what I mean? So I can understand that, because we lived through that time, so we understand that. But it's like in the midst of action, there's a lot of these pauses for like character development. Right? Like they're on their way to go get into the fight with the Mind Flayer, and they're all suited up and they're ready to go, and then they stop and then have like these weird personal interactions.
It kind of like hindered the momentum of the show, in my opinion. Like, okay, I understand why they're doing it. They're ending this. They kind of want to go out on this note because you got to kind of wrap the story up.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, it's in the middle of it. You're like, why are we talking about this now?
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't the time. This is the time where this whole planet is about to be destroyed.
Right.
And these kids.
And it's not like, well, you could say, well, they didn't have time really because they were doing all this. No. The entire 5th season was a story about 2 characters that no one cares about. Holly Wheeler, right? It was, the entire season was centered around Holly Wheeler. No one cares. at all. She's a D tier character on a good day. She's in the background of the first 2 seasons. Like now, all of a sudden, we're spending entire episodes with Holly Wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares? And they're like, Max is back, and she's going to come in the underground and show her, or upside down, and show her the path to the cave that Vecna can't go into because of childhood trauma. And you're like, let me fold my page back. No one cares. We don't care about these C-tier characters and their interactions with others. And,
Because the story that drew us in was the 4 boys.
Right.
At the very beginning, their mom.
Like, the Finn Wolfhard character, that guy is in this season like maybe a handful of scenes. And this is his show, right? The first 3 seasons were centered around him exclusively, and then his interaction with his friends and the group of the friends, But in this season, none of that. It's all about Holly Wheeler and her good friend Max. And, like, there was whole episodes where I'm just like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, Max is like, I've been living in this cliff for a year, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like,
are they using it just to try to get us to understand Vecna, baby? Or better? Can't even speak today. But
it's unnecessary.
Could there been another way?
Because
to kind of introduce what his backstory is, what his weakness is, because you gotta find out what can take him down.
And you never did. Through all of that, you never found out anything.
I was very surprised, especially the scene in the cave. Spoiler: there's a scene in the cave,
right?
About how brutal he was
as a kid. Yeah, right.
Like, and what was in the damn? They did show what was in the case, but they didn't show it till last night.
Right.
The suitcase,
which is a whole nother thing, or they retconned the entire origin of the Upside Down into this guy in a cave with the piece of the Upside Down that went into Henry's hand, and then somehow he turned into Vecna. But then, in the 3rd season, he was not. He was just another one of the people in the project. He was just an older kid in the project. And then they all collectively went into the Upside Down. And Elle specifically was the kid who could breach the barrier between the Upside Down and our world. And then when, in the 4th season, when they had their confrontation, she banished him into the Upside Down, where then he made a deal with the Mind Flayer in order to get revenge and come back into our world and possibly destroy it, because he's just a messed up dude. All of that cool packaging, you can take all of that story and throw it straight into the garbage, because in the 5th season, none of that is real. None of it. Now there's a wormhole between
2 dimensions.
The 2 dimensions of where the Mind Flayer lives in some distant galaxy, and then the Upside Down, which Vecna created, and then our world, which is right on the other side of it. So there's like this whole new mythology that we've just introduced in the 5th season, and none of that gears into the first 4 seasons in any way. It's all made up, brand new, and it's all like, look at the plot twist. Like, it's not a plot. That's like saying we were watching Back to the Future, right? And the plot twist is the 2nd season is Die Hard. That's exactly what this is like. Like, those aren't the same thing at all. Like, yeah, that's what we're doing now, though. We just completely changed the entire story, all the backstory, all the history, all the character interactions. Everything is completely changed in the 5th season, and none of it matches anything that you've been watching. And the way they know that they can pull that off is by waiting, 4 years, 3.5 years in between each season. Then they can retcon a bunch of it, because your memory doesn't, you don't remember all of the minutia of the first 3 seasons.
I was almost tempted to go back and watch it from the very beginning to the very to the one left. Yeah. But obviously with life, there's no time for that.
I actually suggested that yesterday. I was like, what if we went and started watching the first season and kind of caught up?
Well, it may be because there was so much time in between that we forgot things.
Yeah.
I mean, could that be the flip side of it? Yeah, obviously. That we don't remember everything that happened exactly. You know? So we.
But I mean, even though, like, I don't remember everything that happened in the other seasons, but I do remember that, um, oh, the Winona Ryder character, she worked at the hardware store in town, right? And when Will has his coming out scene, he mentions that the kids all rode their bicycles to the hardware store to get milkshakes, and that was like a big moment, and they were all getting misty-eyed about that. Yeah, we remember that. There's no milkshakes at the hardware store. What are we talking about? Like, none of that happened. So that's when I thought, when he said that, I was like, oh, is this more of the Mind Flayer? And, and
messing with the...
it's like, this isn't really Will that we're talking to, right? It's actually Vecna is controlling him, and Will is in the Upside Down, and that would be really good story writing.
Because that would be a hint to the other ones that
Nope.
he wasn't Will. That the memories he was having,
right? They're not
to his friends. Be like, we never did that.
When Henry was around back in the what 70s,
they would have it was looked like the 60s or.
Yeah,
the 50s or 60s.
Right. So back when he was a teenager,
it would be
maybe
like
that hardware store had a milkshake counter in it. Maybe it was one of those drugstore, hardware store type scenarios back then. That would have been good writing. Not what they did. No, that was just continuity error. They just didn't care. They don't care that they don't care that the writers are just like, I'm just writing stuff. It's almost like they gave like the first couple seasons to ChatGPT, and they're like, make a 5th season that isn't awful. And we're just going to run with that.
I had to laugh because the one character I wondered about, and he did survive, was Wheeler's dad.
Yeah, the poor guy. Well, the other one is the little chubby kid with the glasses.
Oh, you're talking about Derek?
Yeah, Derek. When they abducted Derek using the drugs that they stole from the nursing home, they left them all tied up in the barn, right? And then took Derek. Where's his family at the whole rest of the season? Are they still tied up in the barn?
Oh, my God.
You never saw them. They show up at the graduation. They didn't show up in the last episode. Like, where is poor Derek's family at?
I feel bad. Little Derek, I felt like he couldn't run. I mean, he was like the underdog kid. You felt kind of bad for him. And I actually saw they were showing like the premiere of it, so they had the whole cast, and little Derek was in back trying to look over because he's like small of all the other cast.
Right.
You think about it, like Millie Bobby Brown, she's married now.
Yeah, she's married and has
she's
kids.
playing like someone who would have been like 16, 17, something like that.
Right.
It just blows my mind, and I had to laugh that Nancy, who was played by Natalie Dyer.
Yeah.
She was like, I joked, I said, she is like a young Ripley from Aliens. I mean, she's just storming going into the brigade. Like, she was fearless.
And that's the other thing. It's like the older kids, right? The guys that are already in graduated high school. Over the course of this show, they haven't changed very much at all.
Yeah,
like, they all kind of look the same.
How did all of a sudden Steve have a job as a coach? Harrington. He
wanted to be around kids.
So that's why he wanted 6 nuggets.
Right. So then that's why he went in to be the.
But did he go to school to become that? Like, how did that? And
well, there's an 18-month jump. I don't know. I don't think back in the 80s you needed a degree to be a coach or to be a gym teacher. I think, look back on my gym teachers I had. I mean, did they have any kind of degree?
I still remember my kindergarten Mr. Brickley, and I got hit in the face with a dodgeball. Everybody knows about dodgeball. I got hit in the face, and he comes up, and you know what? It hurt. It was red. I was crying. He's like, "There is no crying in dodgeball."
Right.
I bet we were made tough.
Yeah, they're not. They weren't teachers for certain. But yeah, I mean, I do like. Back up. I appreciate the last episode because it tied up a lot of loose storylines, and the epilogue of it gave kind of a decompression where you could see, like, these people they have a future, they have other things they're going to do, they're making plans to meet up every year at some place in the middle and do all this stuff. None of that's ever going to happen. The reality of it is they're going to get into their own lives, and
because they all kind of scattered to the wind.
Yeah.
Because even David Hopper got a job elsewhere, so everybody was kind of leaving the town.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, what did the rest of the town think?
Yeah, when they were finally,
because they were, earthquakes.
Yeah, in the beginning or the end of the fourth season, they sequestered the town and put a wall around it, and then the key characters were trapped inside, and everybody else that fled was just locked out of their town, basically. So when they all came back, the story the government had was that there was an earthquake and it opened up a rift in the town, and then everyone got sick, and then that's why all the shenanigans went on. But yeah, you would have to think like when they came back, like,
What the F happened here?
what was there, a giant bear that did this to my house? Like my car is on its side with like claw marks are down the side of it. Like there's, four-toed footprints on the roof of my van like this wide. Like what the hell happened in this town?
How did an earthquake do this?
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, that's stuff that they never explain, but it doesn't really matter, so in the broad strokes. But
I like that the fact that obviously they wrapped it up, and then they wrapped up.
yeah, they had the
They kind of wrapped up the story. I felt it kind of had that hero end or that hero story that you were talking about.
Yeah.
It was a little. I don't think I teared up per se, but I thought it made me like have heart feels and stuff like that.
Right.
Because there's these four boys. When they put their D&D.
Yeah, they finally got to finish the campaign for the first season.
And he kind of explained what happened.
Yeah.
And they put their books of their characters or whatever. I guess they maintain that. I am not a D&D player.
Yeah, they were playing the Curse of Strahd.
And seeing them put them up on the shelf for the very last time, probably.
Yeah.
Was sad.
It was.
You've come full circle. I mean, when they really started it, these were little kids.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Mike, the wolf,
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolf was actually in It too. I don't know, or It, the original It. I completely blanked on that.
Yeah, he was good in that one.
Because I recently rewatched all the It's as well as the season. But
yeah, like I say, they're all good actors. The Byers boy.
Oh, Charlie Heaton?
No, the younger one.
Oh, Will.
Will, yeah. I feel like that actor didn't mature as much as the other actors did. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like the Finn Wolfhard guy is still the lead in this, in my opinion, because he is a fantastic actor, and he, gives 110% every scene. And I kind of feel like the Will character, the actor anyway, is just kind of like, yeah, I'm here, there's not a lot going on.
I thought I thought his character, though, did have kind of like a growth over the last 2 or 3 episodes, because he was always kind of meek and like mealy, kind of like just
I don't know.
Not as strong as the other characters, in my opinion.
I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities in this show, because like where is Max's family at?
Yeah, I was
wondering. Like she's a kid too. Like
she was in a coma for how long?
And her brother was killed. So like who is in charge of Max?
And who's paying her bills?
Right. Like it seems weird that no one came to visit her in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like that seems strange. And then
it was a stranger thing.
I don't know. The dad Wheeler, the guy with the glasses, like he got attacked by the Demogorgon too, and was in the hospital, and no one cared that he was just like, like you could have a whole school bus full of characters that you don't know anything about, what happened to them or what, and they're not like background characters. Like these are these kids' parents,
Yeah.
Like I said, the chubby kid's whole family was tied up in
a barn somewhere.
And that's what's funny, because there's a scene where Vecna uses that as like blackmail against him. He's like, well, I can get your family and I can hurt them, and they're like, they just abandoned them people in the barn. Like the 2 episodes ago, they're like still gagged and tied up in a barn somewhere, trying to come down from their barbiturates that little girl shot him up with.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
So you're like, do we really care about them? You know what I mean? Is it good? Like, for as far as he knows.
Well, you cared enough to wonder what happened to them.
Right. But I mean, as far as he knows, they are, laying there in the woods with their eyes burned out. You know what I mean? Because he has, as far as in his mind, the heroes abducted him and his family and then hijinks ensued, and then they had to take him with them. But his family was probably killed by the Demogorgons when they attacked the barn. You don't know. He don't know.
So is he an orphan now too?
No, but
Is there a giant orphanage for these kids?
I'm just saying, like,
What about all those kids that were taken that were part of what Vecna needed in order to do what he needed to do?
yeah,
Was it 8 of them or was there
yeah,
7?
there's a bunch of them,
Like, where are the parents of these guys?
right? And
I guess there's a lot of what you would call plot holes.
yeah,
Like things
lots of plot holes.
things that would exist. Like you were talking about the Demogorgons and the dryer. And
Yeah.
he kicked him with his foot getting on
Right. Because up to that point in the show, there was a scene where the heroes are trying to assault the breach that goes in between the Upside Down and the our world, and there is a Humvee with a mounted 50 caliber machine gun on it, and they are spraying down these Demogorgons and Demo Dogs with a 50 caliber machine gun, and 2 dudes with flamethrowers, and the whole battalion of army guys with M16s all opening fire, and they stand no chance against 5 Demogorgons and a handful of Demo Dogs. But the guy, the football player kid, can just front kick one, and it just falls over, and then the elevator door closes. You're like, its whole head is mouth. Where are you going to kick a dog where it's not in an entire petunia of razor blades, right?
Yeah.
No, that's just dumb. And there's a couple of scenes where, and I get it too, you're an actor, but they have a sling that goes underneath his shirt that's holding the Max character so that he doesn't have to actually physically carry her. And they didn't CG it out in a lot of scenes. So he's like running and there's like this obvious strap going across his chest. You're like, none of you see that? Like, none of you producers saw that? Like, 'cause I'm just sitting here watching it on my TV and I saw it and it looked out of place. So,
Yeah. And Bob's got a very sharp eye.
take an extra second and paint that out, because you're already doing a whole CG'd animal that's running down the hallway after him. You know what I mean? You could take an extra couple seconds and paint some shadows around that shirt to get rid of the strap. Like, I don't...
Well, this is
stuff like that.
Totally off a different tangent, but I was thinking the one character, I loved the Terminator movie. So obviously I loved Linda Hamilton. In this one, I despised her. She was relentless.
And that's another...
And I don't understand why they were so driven for all of this. Maybe I just completely blanked.
There's a lot of interactions while we're on to the military in this, because as a person who was in the military, I can tell you a lot of things that are foolish about what they did. And the main thing is Linda Hamilton's character is a 2-star general, right? That's like two notches down from as high as you can get in the army, right? So she's like a legit 2-star general. And she has an entire battalion of army at her disposal in this secret black ops thing that they're doing. So she puts finding the children and tracking down all of this on the shoulders of a lieutenant, right? An 01. Here's the wheel, right? Here's a 01. Here's your general, class. This dude is this right against my finger. Okay, he's basically a private as far as the officers go. There's no majors. You don't have a lieutenant colonel.
So you don't have a hierarchy.
Right.
She
She just like, hey, that guy. What's your name? I'm Lieutenant so-and-so. Like, oh, this is your first assignment? Here's the most important task in the entire history of this operation, and gives it to this idiot. And then she gets mad at him when he can't do it. Like, well, no duh, lady, you can't do it. He's a lieutenant. He's over the chart. He's in charge of, like, a sergeant and a couple of privates. Like, you need... If you're going to put your entire career and the fate of the planet in the hands of somebody, you got to have field grade leadership. You got to have lieutenants. You got to, I mean, not lieutenants. You got to have majors. You got to have lieutenant colonels. You got to have people that make plans, not people that set up tents. Right? That was her first thing.
What was their end goal? Like, I know that there was part where they were like the Russians, and like I said,
they threw that plot straight in the trash
because it was like so far ago. Like I don't even remember other than 11, and they had Hopper. And I'm like,
that whole storyline was the reason why the military got involved in the first place, because the Upside Down works like as a planetary wormhole. You can open up a rift in Indiana and walk out in the middle of Soviet Russia. And that was why the military was... You don't remember that because they threw that plot right in the trash.
well,
They
it
didn't
was
want
like how
anything
many
to do
years
with
ago? I mean, we're talking like when did this show start? I can't even
that. I
remember.
don't even remember. It was a long time.
Yeah.
But that was the whole like first act of the fourth season, was that Hopper was in the gulag, and then they found out that he was actually alive, and they wanted to come and break him out. You know, they had this whole heist thing going on because that was popular back then.
That's right, yes.
But there was another thing that I said, because when Max went into the coma, everyone in this town thought Hopper was dead. So when she comes out of the coma and she's in the little room with Hopper, she should have been like, "Oh, you're still around, my man." Instead, she's like, "Hey, how are you guys doing? Let's all listen to this tape over and over again." You know what I mean? Like it's almost like the writers just don't care about the backstory of this, and they thought from like the end of season 4 forward is just like a whole different show.
The only one I really wish they had come back that I really liked, Eddie Munson.
Yeah, poor Eddie. Right? I thought that was...
Well, and I even told you, I thought I had heard something. I don't know where I read it. It's probably just a rumor, but the one that played, I always forget her name from the very beginning. Barb.
Yeah.
Someone said something about Barb being there.
She was in there.
Where was she?
In the flashbacks at the very end.
Oh.
That's where Eddie Munson was too. They brought them back to record that flashback of them.
All is explained.
Yeah.
I was hoping that there was something like... I secretly hoped that everything that had happened would go back to the moment.
Right. That's even worse than what they
Oh my
did.
God! Do we want to talk?
The mind player had made them.
Do we want to talk about the last Twilight movie? That one. So
right.
Oh, but
I mean, if you're gonna talk about terrible plots, the first movie in the Twilight series, the sparkly vampire ran from Washington State
down to California
to Phoenix, where the dance studio was. He ran on his feet all the way from Washington State to Arizona, and no one noticed.
Yeah, that movie, those shows got a little bit far-fetched.
Like you're semi-truck driver cruising down the highway, mind your own business, and here's this disco ball of a teenage kid running down the side of the highway. You're like, what is that? What are we even doing, dude? Like, we had this conversation the other day. I want to have like a oversight board for like franchises that people care about, right? By the time you're into like your sixth season series, sixth season, sixth movie, there's a civilian oversight board that you have to take the plot, take the thing to, and say, okay, here's our new movie, here's what we're going to do, and have people who are actually fans of the show go through it and say, have an NDA, do whatever you want, but you need to have fans of that show that are involved in it, invested in it, and know the characters forwards and backwards, know all the lore, to look at your project and say, that's a really good story. That's a good use of that character. And then this season she did this, and then now we can bring that together. Instead of this that we get, and you're just sitting here the whole time like, what is this even? Like what are we doing now? Now you can do this. There's no history of that. Like this lore is completely ignored, and then you're gonna retcon this stuff, and it's terrible. It makes these shows awful at the end.
It's just unraveling.
Yeah, it's like they don't care about the universe they've established. and they don't even like I say, there's too many irons in the fire, and then as fans you're watching it going, why is there even an iron in the fire? We had this. Stranger Things is the story of a girl who escaped a lab and then meets a group of kids who then the Scooby-Doo themselves into this whole adventure. Now here we are at the end. There's an entire school bus full of main characters who are just trying to eat up screen time, and you're like, no one asked for any of this. You know what I mean? Like it, there's a couple moments where Linda Hamilton has like this interactions with the kids, and you can see that like she's a fantastic actress, and in those moments there's like a motherly kind of concern for these people.
Because didn't they call her Mama?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was Papa and Mama.
And then nope, they switched all that off, and now she's some combat crazed warmonger that just wants to empty out the entire planet so she can get a hold of this technology that uses this wormhole.
I had completely forgotten that Sean Astin was in that show.
Yeah,
like he was so great, and he just was kind of like
Well, that's good
Matthew
writing.
Modine,
though. That's good writing. Is where you introduce characters, you have an emotional contract with them, they perform their task. They're sacrificed for the story, and then the story moves on, and it adds gravity to the situation.
Whereas that's like the Eddie Munson, that scene in season 4, where he's playing the guitar on top of the school,
and that's another thing,
the camp or whatever it was
that I brought up in the end of this. Like, where are all the bats, and where is the other nasties that are in the Upside Down? Because in this season, there's none of that. So Eddie Munson was killed by a thing that doesn't even exist in the 5th season. They just cruise around in the Upside Down like it's just a nighttime in the right side up. Like there's no fear of going over things, yeah. or demo dogs just patrolling or any of the stuff that was in the 4th season. None of that exists in this one.
Yeah.
So the thing that killed Eddie Munson in the 4th season doesn't even exist in the 5th season.
Okay, let's reel it back.
Yeah.
Would you, on a scale of I don't have our little thing in front of us. Oh, here it is. On a scale of 1 to 4, and obviously we usually do this haunted rating system on movies, but where would you put it on our scale out of a 1 to 5?
The first season, I would say, is definitely Hell's Bells, because it set the foundation.
Okay.
The second season expanded on it, and I would still give it a Hell's Bells, right? The third season kind of got off the rails a little bit, but I felt like there was a lot of character development in the third season that we needed, So I would still begrudgingly give it the Hell's Bells, because I did like the introduction of Murray and Hopper's story, and they kind of had this whole conspiracy theory thing. So I like that. But by the time it got to the end, I would say it was blood-curdling.
You think it's a 3 out of 5?
Yeah. Because it's...
Oh boy, dear Stranger fans thing. They're going to come at you in the comments. And he does read all the comments.
Over the arc of the story, I would say it's Hell's Bells, because it is a good story. It has a lot of...
So the whole series as a whole,
I would give it a 5 of 5.
Out of 5.
But the fifth
did
season...
you like how it ended?
I did like the epilogue. I liked. I felt like...
They kind of tied it up.
Yeah.
Which is good, because there's series that don't.
Right.
Like we started watching, I swear we watched the first season of Castle Rock.
Castle Rock. I didn't see the second season of it, for sure.
And right now, I'm not even sure what I want to make about that one yet.
Yeah, we're gonna do a review of it.
I was gonna say, there's no characters so far that really have any redeeming.
It kind of reminds me of True Detective.
Oh God, yeah, you had Matthew
different.
McConaughey and who was? Oh, Woody Harrelson was in it, which I thought that was
amazing.
With the seasons that they were in,
the first season
was really the first season was
110%.
amazing. But when they got down to the Jodie Foster and the Alaska,
the second season was kind of meh. The ending of the second season was.
Yeah.
And then the third season was kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
It's not even worth watching.
And we're not talking about Stranger Things.
No, we're talking about True Detective.
True Detective.
But as far as this show, I would still begrudgingly give it the Hell's Bells because it has 3 seasons that are solid. The 4th season is kind of meh, and the 5th season is meh. But the ending of the 5th season and the epilogue of the show, they do tie it all together. So begrudgingly, I would say as
it leaves you with heart feels.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that at some point, if we have a lull right now, ironically, a lot of our shows are back. They've got new seasons, so we're like, oh, we need to watch that. Like you even started to start a new one the other night. I'm like, we haven't finished this one yet.
I forgot
and
all
going
about
between, we started watching the Fallout, which we loved.
Yeah.
We went from Fallout to watching, I want to say Stranger Things, and then we jumped over to.
Well, because they were coming out every week, so
yeah,
it was like
and then
we
we
had
jumped
to stop.
over to Castle Rock, and I'm like. I was starting to get the plots confused. I'm like, well, there was a helicopter accident in this one, but it was oh, wait a minute, no, that's a different show.
Yeah.
Too many irons in the fire.
Yeah, so what do you think?
Yeah, tell us what you think. Did you like the ending of it? Tell us. Leave us a comment. I'm
Right.
telling you, he reads all of them, and then he tells them about me. He tells me.
Right. I read all the comments, so
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So we're gonna go over all the Stranger Things season 1 through 5, the whole what's the word I'm looking for? The whole series.
Right.
We're gonna give a Hell's Bells.
Yep.
I'm glad that they wrapped it up. I definitely, like I said, if you've watched this all the way through now, I'm assuming that you have watched
Right.
the whole seasons, all the seasons as well as the finale.
Right.
So, and I want to take a moment just to wish everybody a happy New Year.
Yeah,
We're in
happy New Year's, everybody.
2026. So it's kind of weird to have a nice day off in the
made
middle
it.
of the week.
We made it through 25.
I had a funny thing happen. I want to tell the story. So Robin, who is our moderator on TikTok and a member of the Veritas Project, which is the overall, I joked with her yesterday when I was at work. I said, I really want to just get out of here and I need a trail of candy to find my way home. She was so sweet that Bob was over at the farmhouse and I was actually driving to the farmhouse and Bob sends me a text going, Robin's on our porch. And he's like, are we supposed to be home? And I'm like, no, she knows I was at work and she didn't know if you were working or not.
Right.
Anyway, he said she went back by the cars or she went down in the driveway and then went up to the front door. I don't know what she's doing. So we came home, we went and had dinner and we came home and she had left a trail of M&Ms from the driveway up to the front porch. That was really funny and very sweet.
Funny.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I asked her this morning if the M&Ms have the 5-second rule outside. I did pick them up because thankfully she did think about Cade because they are chocolate.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. But so yeah, it was a great way to end our 2025. It went out on a high note. There was a trail of chocolate leading me home. And I swear to God, I thought I saw triangle lights the other night. I'm like trying to film and, I'm driving and I'm calling him. I'm like, what are those lights on the side? It looks like triangle lights. They're moving. They're like, they were perfectly stationary.
Yeah. It was landing lights.
He says they're landing lights.
Southwest Airlines planes coming in for landing.
I don't think so. No.
We're
I got
the
video.
We're the debunkers. We look for the real
They were
solution.
literally like just like you would expect like some movement, but they were literally just stationary in the sky.
Well, you're moving too.
It's all the
They're coming this way.
physics.
They're coming this way, and you're going this way. So, from your perspective,
I did notice that is one thing that looks like they did. As I was farther down the road, they did stretch out.
Yeah.
So. But I swear I saw triangle lights coming back before I met him. Coming back. We believe in aliens in this house.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be some good horror movies coming out and we'll have a plethora of reviews.
Yeah, hopefully. In the comments below, tell us how you felt about Stranger Things and what you noticed or the continuity errors and plot holes and
You overlooked
all of that. Or maybe you didn't agree with my plot holes that I pointed out, but
Bob is a guy who likes his plot holes his plots to make sense.
Yeah.
If they don't make sense, then it's like like a nail in the brain.
And then, as far as I'm like me as a viewer of this show, that I didn't even go into the layers of plot holes that I noticed in this, because like the Humvees have the wrong doors on them. They didn't have the right mufflers. The tires are brand new. They're not period correct tires. The M16s that they used were the wrong for that era of M16s.
This guy can see a silhouette of a car, and he can tell you the year, make, and model. We joke. They needed to get. They used to have a show that was like that was automobile thing, but if they had an automobile based trivia show, I would think that he'd be the reigning champion. Like he'd be like, oh, that's a 1969 Hemi whatever, Hemi Cuda.
Right.
And it was, they only made 69 of them in the lime green color or the purple passion or whatever it is. And I don't know. I like Hemi Kudos because of the movie Phantasm. But anyway. Okay.
Anyways.
We're reeling back now. So we will see you next time
on the Midnight Matinee.
Here's Todd.
Here's Todd.
You've been watching the Midnight Matinee, brought to you by the Veritas Project. So when the clock strikes 12, grab your tickets for the next episode of the Midnight Matinee.